What is up, everybody? Back with a new video here today, and it's going to be some Megadeth talk. Going to go through my dream set list for this upcoming farewell tour from Megadeth, which we'll talk a little bit about. And they got a new album coming out January 23rd, self-titled, so that should be cool. There's going to be 11 tracks in total. Two of them have come out so far, Tipping Point, which I thought was really good, and I Don't Care, which... the lyrics are pretty cheesy. I'll get a little bit more into that too. But also on this album, they're going to be covering Ride the Lightning, which Dave Mustaine obviously has made it known a lot in the past. He wrote some of that song originally. He wrote some of the songs on Kill 'Em All, Ride the Lightning, and apparently he wrote some of Leper Messiah from Master of Puppets. But as far as the two new songs that have come out so far, Tipping Point, I love. It reminds me a lot of Dystopia, which I was a big fan of that album when it came out back in 2016. It's got a similar feel. It's got like a mid-paced opening to it, and then it transitions into the really fast, thrashing, heavy stuff that is similar to what Megadeth has been putting out over the last 10 years or so. Teemu, the new guitar player, is fantastic. He's a Finnish guy. His last name hard to pronounce, so I'm not even going to try. We're just going to call him Teemu. He also plays in Winter Sun, a symphonic death metal band. The guy's an amazing player, similar to Kiko Loureiro, nice melodic, smooth, very fast, awesome, well-composed solos that I think are just fantastic all throughout the Tipping Point song. So overall, Tipping Point, really good. Now, I Don't Care. The song itself, like the music, isn't bad. The riffs are fine. The solos, they're good. But the lyrics, of course, everybody's been roasting, talking about. It's just a little cringy. Not the best lyrics, obviously. Dave Mustaine in the past has put together some pretty, deep, meaningful lyrics about war and world events and problems. But, this one just kind of cheesy. And I'm not sure if anybody picked up on this, but this is kind of how I perceive some of these lyrics. I think that they might be some shade towards David Ellefson, the classic bass player of the band. He's been in and out of the band a couple of times. He was originally kicked out because there was a whole lawsuit dispute thing where David Ellefson was trying to sue Dave Mustaine for the name. I don't know the exact details of that, but some of these lyrics I feel, just looking at him, he was a hater and a thief. I think that could kind of relate to that a little bit of shade. And then a traitor and a creep, a jack-off, and a sheep. So if you know why David Ellefson was kicked out of the band, the most recent time, there was some controversy of him on a Skype or Zoom call with some 19-year-old girl where he was doing some baloney bopping, which is also a jack-off. I don't know. That, to me, sounds like it could be shade being thrown towards David Ellefson. Let me know how you perceive that, because that's kind of how I see it possibly could be. Maybe it's absolutely not, and I just am making things up here. But to me, that seems a little bit like that's what it could be. So yeah, overall, that song's pretty cheesy, not that great. But overall, I'm looking forward to the album and looking forward to the tour. I've seen Megadeth twice. As I've said, they're my favorite band. We'll see them as many times as I can on this upcoming tour, which Dave Mustaine has said that it could last 3 to 5 years. Who knows if it'll ever actually end. I personally don't think this will be Megadeth's last album because, Dave Mustaine is not insanely old or anything. He is early, mid-60s. So I think 5 years from now, he's still going to be wanting to write music. And if the opportunity presents itself, why would you not put out another Megadeth album? Which I think is probably what will happen. But as far as this upcoming tour here, my dream set, I'm going to touch on most of the eras. I'm not going to have anything I'm not going to have something from every single album, but I've got some nice representation from a lot of the eras, I think. I'm going to go with 16 songs, opening it up. I've got the very first song on their first album, Killing Is My Business. I've got Last Rites, Love to Death. So the way I would envision it, big curtain tarp over the stage, which a lot of bands do. The piano intro to Last Rites starts over the intercom speakers, and then when it transitions, it kind of slows down. Curtain drops, they hit that riff in Love to Death, which is a killer, just sharp, amazing riff, and just come running on the stage, do whatever they do. So I think that'd be a cool way to open the concert. And then it would go into Devil's Island, which is from Peace Sells, of course, which they weren't playing that song for a while. They did recently bring it back, which is really cool. So I think they should have it on here. Good, very heavy song, aggressive, great, tapping guitar solo to open it up. Just awesome song overall. My number 3, I've got Good Morning Black Friday, which I'm not sure the last time they played this one, but I think it's an awesome song. It's pretty complex, so I think it would be a tough one to learn. Maybe, I don't know if Dave can play all the parts that he did on that song like as good anymore, but I think that it would be awesome to see. It's one of my favorite songs they ever did, just super cool. A lot of great riffs throughout the song, a lot of great solos. Number 4, I'd go with In My Darkest Hour, which is a really killer one from So Far So Good So What. It's more of a mid-pace song, and then it builds up, has a great solo that was originally done by Jeff Young. Only album he was on was So Far So Good So What. But yeah, awesome song that I think would be cool to see. My number 5, this song they did for a long time have as their opener to their sets, Hangar 18. I think you got to have it in there. Just amazing solos throughout that Marty Friedman originally did. And that's another thing I think that should be done on this tour. Bring Marty in some capacity, whether he does, a couple of dates, if he just does one date in Japan. Like, it'd be really cool to see him get on the stage, play on this final tour, kind of commemorate the great years of the band, which their golden era to me is around this time, early 90s. Rust in Peace is my favorite album of all time. So get Marty at some point, get him in there, get him playing at some point on this tour, please. And then number 6, I got Washington is next. So we're jumping up to the mid-2000s. I think that United Abominations and Endgame, both really good albums. I think that they need to have some sort of representation on this tour, especially you got James Lomenzo in the band who played bass on United Abominations and on Endgame, so why not? That's half the band that was on these albums. So I think Washington is next. Really good song, got a great riff, nice rhythm to the song, great melodies. Dave Mustaine, his vocal melodies throughout the song, very catchy, very good. I was a big fan. I am still a big fan. I've been a big fan of this album forever. Just pretty underrated. They don't play anything from the album, obviously, at this point in their normal set, which is unfortunate. But I think Washington's Next would be really cool to see. Number 7, as I mentioned, Endgame. I think you got to put something from that in the set. It's one of their most aggressive, heavy albums. And I think This Day We Fight is just an amazing song, which is what I would put. They have an intro song on that album called Dialectic Chaos. That's instrumental. Then it transitions into This Day We Fight, which is just amazing. Blistering guitar work originally from Chris Broderick and, of course, Dave Mustaine. And Chris Broderick, he is the guy that was in the band when I first, originally really got into Megadeth, and they became my favorite band. So I was always a big fan of Chris Broderick. I was pretty disappointed when he left the band. And Sean Drover, they left the band back-to-back days. I was just devastated, which no one cared. I was talking about it to some of my friends in high school, because this happened when I was a senior in high school, I believe, and no one cared, and I was just sick to my stomach in class, and no one cared. But yeah, Chris was an amazing player, and I think Timo would do his solos really good. But yeah, This Day We Fight, I think, would be cool to see. My number 8 song in the set, I would go back to Cryptic Writings. I've got A Secret Place, which I think is a really cool atmospheric song. It's mid-paced, very melodic song, great riff. I think that Cryptic Writings, really good album. It's obviously not as heavy. They were going more commercial at this point, but I think it does have some very, very good songs. And The Secret Place, definitely I'd want to see. My number 9, I got 99 Ways to Die, which was originally on a Beavis and Butthead compilation soundtrack thing in 93, and then it was on the Hidden Treasures EP compilation album thing they put out in 95, which was a group of songs that they had previously put out on movie soundtracks, video game soundtracks, and whatnot. But I think that 99 Ways to Die would be really cool to see. It's got a great riff, just really cool song. It's very underrated. My number 10, I'd go back to Rust in Peace, Take No Prisoners. Great, fast, thrashing song. Very heavy, amazing riff, very aggressive song. My number 11, Architecture of Aggression from Countdown to Extinction, which, this one's a really good, somewhat underrated song. I mean, anything from Rust or Countdown, how underrated can it be? But I think this is one of the more underrated songs from those albums. Got a really cool riff to open it up. Some amazing guitar solos throughout the song as well. The Disintegrators is where I'd go after that. Back to Cryptic Writings. This one that I've always thought was extremely underrated, not super talked about, but it was always one of my favorite songs from Cryptic Writings, and I'd really want to see it. Number 13, Victory from Euthanasia, which I think is a pretty cool song. The lyrics, at that point, it was really talking about like a lot of the songs that had come before. Just like in the lyrics, it mentions previous songs and kind of just talking about how Megadeth, the band itself, is kind of a victory. They're successful. They overcame, band lineup changes and stuff to that point, and they were very successful. So I think that's a cool song to incorporate in, and it's just a really good song. Got great solos, good riff. And then after that, I would go to the Countdown to Extinction title track, which I think is one that is really good. It's kind of a melodic song, some nice harmonies with the guitar in that one, dual harmonization, kind of Iron Maiden style, which I think was done very well by Megadeth when they would do that. And then number 15, this song they would end their sets with a lot of the time throughout their career, Holy Wars, which I have it as the second to last song, which it could be the last one, whatever. But I have it at number 15, just, of course, it's like my favorite song of all time. Everything about it's awesome and perfect to me. It's got Dave Mustaine's best solo for me. I feel just that one always I thought was badass, and the music video was really cool. And my number 16 final song, I think it would be cool to see My Last Words as the final song. Kind of sums it up. It's the last song of the set. Dave Mustaine, My Last Words. And it's a really killer song from Peace Sells. Just very fast one, very catchy, awesome riffs, solos throughout the song. And I think it would just be a very good fitting end to the set and to their career, if that's what they're actually going to be doing here, is ending. But we'll see. I think that would be a really cool set to see. Of course, I left off some like pretty big hitter songs, some of the popular ones, Symphony of Destruction, Angry Again, and whatnot. Tous les Mondes. Like, they have so many good songs, it's tough to put in, just like a dream set here. But those are the ones that I would want to see. I love Megadeth, so I'm pretty much cool with whatever they're going to do. I'm fine with whatever set they come up with, because I love most of their songs. They're my favorite band. Y'all can let me know, though, what would you want to see in the Megadeth final tour set? What'd you think of mine? And until next time, thank y'all for watching.